Right, we're back. So yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, we're just gunning straight for satellites. And astronautics requires vertical flight. Century. Okay, so it's a torpid, isn't it? There really isn't much of utility there, but I'm sure it's fine. Oh yeah, we've on the topic of Beijing. Last time I think it was last time. We have definitively run out of city names. Yep. The name list is now reaching towards um Chinese city names. So, oh, I say Beijing. I'm not sure. I do remember reading that it's actually a fairly inaccurate pronunciation, but I don't remember what it was. To be honest, I mostly read different spellings that waxed and waned in use. So I'm not actually sure. Oh, Biosine remains. Always happy to place those somewhere. Especially since they help with a lot of stuff. Ah, they make the paleontology lab cheaper, which already is stupendously cheap because of the fact that I have like at least 50 fossil sites built as buildings. There's spiders all over. Oh, this is the next one. Yeah, plenty of animals have spawned here over the 5,900 turns. I'm fairly certain not even Sue knows much about it. Oh, they're dealing with pirates. Okay. Well, good for them, I guess. Good luck. Have fun. Oh, okay. So attack on a whale research such there. If it can manage to reach there without getting attacked by any of said pirates in the process. No, really shouldn't be a problem as long as it stays out of Sioux territory. Probably, anyway. It's not really certain. Canoe builder. Okay, coffee shop. Yeah. That's not good either. That's pretty poor. Yep. Can't build you, and you also have pretty bad bang for your buck. Oh, steam crane is really good. But I shouldn't build that when the modern crane is right here. that there really isn't much of anything that is as good as the high-tech coal power plant. So that's the order. The animal trainer doesn't actually give me production, but it does allow me to build the chariot maker, which will be obsoleted at some point, but not replaced. Which means I believe I still get the benefits of it? Maybe. Obsoleting is a bit weird sometimes. Several aspects of it are somewhat nonsensical. Okay, rest there until I can get around to building a biology lab. It will happen someday. I'm just not sure if it can... Ooh, okay. What was the city again? Yeah, it's Lotoka. Food processing plant and get through all the science buildings. The high-tech coal power plant only provides 5 production because the city has already built all the other coal stuff already. The tin mine doesn't provide very much. It's Persepolis, so they've already built the bark gatherer beforehand. Yeah, okay, P-Fire Dynamo. Tin mine. Just center parking garage. Cement mill. Fine, I guess I'll do the international port if it really is that good. I think that's... I'm gonna need to check on Persepolis again. I think I might have skipped the computing language. But I don't remember if it was there. Engine workshop before that though, and even before that, the guild hall. Let me grab all these cheap buildings first, because they're fast and easy sources of production, so it's reasonable to build them. I think after all that, a leather factory would be the most reasonable pick. Okay. Yes, Beijing, I believe. Yep, built the mining camp. Right, ancient customs, let's see here. Oh, the carpenter's pretty good. That as well. Scrap you, you, and you. Drat. Oh well, there's definitely going to be units next turn, so I can mess with city stuff. Not interested. Yeah, I'd entirely missed the programming language. Okay. Whoops. Put the FOV back at the correct number. There's the frigate. Okay. Boat, 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 boat. Where is that boat? There you are. Okay, so... Oh, Thylacine remains there. Neat. Being able to do it same turn is always very nice. Okay. Oh, this was Gondor. Okay. You still need to build that modern crane, and I definitely need the programming language. It's a very big production buff. For sure. No, I can handle things. Oh, there's a fur farm down there. Okay. Well, an opportunity to build the fur farm. To be more precise, and precision is important. That's the international port. Okay. Making the sound. Okay, build those, and then I need a chemical plant. Probably should build a hospital too, just for unlocking some of the science buildings I need. There's the chemical plant. Okay. Shipping warehouse. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much everything that doesn't involve science buildings. So... let's get Koizon. It's science done for the time being. It'll be a while before I find any more production buildings as it is anyway, so... Ooh, fur farm. Century 2. There we go. Look how many tiles I can see now. It's a fairly big square. And I greatly appreciate it. It's gonna be a while before I find a modern Earth works anyway, so. Right. Within the city, I'll save anything more for later. Anyway, jet propulsion.
The challenge was subtle adjustment of jet propulsion.
Just to double check. Yep. Jet engines are just plain more powerful than the classic propeller engine. Of course, there were issues involved with figuring out how jets worked properly. Especially involved, well, to put it simply, generally speaking, a more powerful engine does make maneuverability a bit tougher because you're moving at speed. And too much of a deviation can cause some very real issues. And I mean issues. We're close to an aqua farm, so. I have no idea if I'm close to the getting a textile manufacturing district. So, let's get you that aluminum smelter, food processing plant, and shrimp net. There we go. Okay, with that, you should have the programming language unlocked. There we go. Tabulation firm, automated switchboard, software firm. Yeah, really the way flight originally worked, specifically with propeller planes, was to take a regular combustion engine that was previously used mainly for tractors, although eventually cars became a thing. Yeah, the first use, one of the first, yeah. Before cars were a thing, it was tractors. Which honestly is probably more economical because, well, farm work is rough. Ensuring that the farmers have an easier time of it does help more than you might expect. It does seem to be the case here that the optimal option is to build industrial farms. Seems to be. I'll grab these super duper cheap buildings first, though. And then go for the industrial farms. Yeah. And, well, it worked because it actually did get the, the plane off the runway. But as always, there's plenty of limits to be had. After all, these were tractor engines, so only a small airplane can be lifted because, well, a propelled plane needed speed. It needed the propeller to move fast because otherwise it just doesn't apply very much force. To the thing, to the air, which is what a plane needs to do in order to travel forwards. There's only so much that can be done. Than the framework provided. Sorry, just gotta do something else real quickly. Let's see here. But yeah, prop planes just have issues. They can only go so fast because, in effect, they're pushing against the air of the atmosphere. And when things get turbulent, well, let me just put it this way. In order for a rudder to work on a ship, the ship has to be moving faster than the water. If it's moving at the same speed, then the rudder just won't do anything. And if it's moving slower, then the rudder will act unpredictably. And I mean in a river. Or something like that. There are noticeable effects. So, okay, so an elephant is rare enough so that I'm gonna have you plop down somewhere or to just give me a carnival. I'm willing to put the effort to do that. Specifically for that. I guess I'll plop a farm here. There's nothing else I can really do on the top with the tile. Air shipping warehouse. Let's see here. Oh boy. Just get the food done. America's over for later. Okay, Indian temple. That. No, no. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Nope. I think the physics lab is given for free by the standard model, so yeah, I'll just stop there with that one. Okay, the inefficiency is kind of bad for everything, isn't it? Yeesh. Even the assembly plant isn't that good in this city. Oh, it's not. Of course it isn't that good. I haven't actually done anything here with regards to improvements. I need to finish up in other cities and then move them along. Let's see here. How is done? Yes, that is the noise for walls. I recognize that sound. That's the sound of the walls being built uh, in the regular game. Okay, so this city, I don't see any percentage buildings, so I need to start working my way down based on efficiency. If and when I can find it. Nope, turns out that's... Yeah, there is that. Okay, so where's the computer science department? Oh, I need a mathematics department. Oh, now I really want to have ArcSiv. Where's the math department? Oh no. I should really build the arboretum, shouldn't I? It's in the list of... No, it's not down here, so it is... Oh. Duh. Okay. Right, it's in the list of buildings provide production. Because scientists provide production. Okay, with ancient customs built, the next goal is the university. So I can build the engineering school, along with quite a few other useful buildings. Okay, I'd say I can ignore this to some degree now, and move on to something else. Let's see here. Pliocene remains. Excellent. Okay, build a mountain mine. This will take a while. Mountains take a while to improve. Quite a while. I was talking about jet engines a while ago, wasn't I? Yeah. Or all the issues with prop planes. The thing is that jet engines are quite a bit more powerful for multiple reasons. Ooh. Greatly enjoy being able to just add a carnival. You're too far away to be worked by any city, and right now the point is to increase yields, so I can start getting my cities set up in earnest. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get another one of you set up. Probably up here, yeah. Seems like the most reasonable option. I'm not entirely sure where I will plant every city. Okay, software firm, high-tech coal power plant. Anything further can wait. After all, I will get satellites pretty soon, which could affect the preferred buildings. Could. I'm not necessarily saying it will, but it might. Definitely want to keep an eye out for that. Let's see here. Yeah. With jet engines, it's different because you're actively sucking in the air and then using it to propel yourself, which results in greater efficiency, fuel use and whatnot. 30 production in 26 turns. I think the assembly plant is more efficient than the industrial farms, but I'm not actually 100% sure on that one. But it's close for sure. I'll build the assembly plant first and then the industrial farms, especially since the assembly plant will become more useful as I add improvements around the city. Which is in the process of happening, so... Let's get you a fur farm. Alright, head over here. This uranium here, a shaft mine would be really useful. Okay, all the production buildings have been built except for the rocket fuel refinery and the supercomputer, both of which require other buildings. Let me set up that chemical plant, and... Supercomputer requires a laboratory. I can see it right there. So... yeah, that lumber is going to be quite the boon. Production of that city. Thylacine remains. Snake pit. Next turn, and then the turn after that we'll have advanced rocketry. And then we'll have satellites, and then I need to figure out what to research next. I'd love putting it off until later. I mean, I will research every non-religious tech eventually. The question is, which order is the one that's most reasonable, most helpful, most efficient, etc. Which is not actually that easy of a question sometimes. Can't airlift from this city. Well, that doesn't really matter. Sure, let's get a canine enclosure over there. Bird. What is the deep? Okay. The exact tile is something that I'm still not certain on. I may jump over to a spot that I know I will use. Regardless. Okay, let's head for the prime timber. Prime timber is perfect for a lumber mill. Can even stick around. Advanced rocketry.
All I desired was to be true to my way of life, to uphold the science of rocketry in my country, and to retire with a clean conscience.
Advanced rocketry. I'm pretty certain this tech represents the ability to actually reach space with rockets. And truly stay up there. Is the shell worker even a building still? I don't think so. I think it's already been replaced by the industrial farms, so... Okay, you two need to merge. And... one of these tile. Okay, not this tile. Or I can just save time and head over here now. Yeah, I can pop a city down in between at some point or another. Especially since over on Neonesia, the workers are all protected by a military unit, because there are still barbs roaming about. So I do want to ensure that there isn't any issues there. Okay, next, nothing. Food processing plant, neat. Let's get all these science buildings out of the way. Of course, the fun thing about building science buildings, it means I research tech faster, which means I get more buildings, which means I need to build new stuff. Again. It's always a joy. Okay, this is faster. A lot of the other options, really. I can easily calculate efficiency of that, so... No, I still need to do the +3 production as long as they cost 9. Okay, jump to the titanium wares. I really should build this one first. But I don't want to adjust the order too much because I've already... Okay, this is going to take long enough for me to be able to say, no, I can continue working on that later. Okay, I need to build a mathematics department or a computer science department. The programming language is extraordinarily efficient. Coffee shop, though. Platinum smith, though. And a bronze smith. The lumber mill doesn't provide enough efficiency. The clockworker shop is fairly good efficiency. Well, let's go to the mathematics department, because I doubt anything else is that efficient. Wood-fired ammo has similar efficiency, but beyond that, no. Yeah, advanced rocketry, as I said, is pretty much the tech allowing for proper rocketry. Previously, rocketry can't really go beyond the atmosphere. It's why you've got intercontinental ballistic missiles, NASA, and I have no idea where Sputnik sits. Sputnik probably sits somewhere. Maybe just regular rocketry. No, okay. Is there even a Sputnik wonder? Great Wonders... Sputnik. Yep, there it is. Oh, it does require advanced rocketry. Okay. Yeah. Pretty much as I expected. So, herbivore, neat. Yeah. The advanced rocketry is basically a space race level rockets, at least early space race level rockets. Satellites is the point where, well, long-term orbiting objects started getting launched into space. And by long term, I mean longer than a week. Machines designed to sit in space and send signals, study things, etc. Space telescopes, a great example of this. Even if most early space exploration was to find a good landing site in order to one-up the other superpower. Better. But I have to admit, of all the things that came out of the Cold War, I'd say that the space race is definitely one of the better ones. It is kind of annoying how, after the moon landing, it just sort of died a slow death, though. It does irk me a bit. Pursuit of science and all that is quite important, and there's always benefits you never expect. Like, we probably wouldn't have... Well, we wouldn't have the personal computer anywhere nearly as early as we would have without the space race. Since it created a demand for computing. A big demand. That wasn't needed beforehand. Because unlike with, say, driving or... You know, unlike with a lot of other things, it's really, really hard to eyeball orbital mechanics. You can't really build an intuition of it, like with a lot of other sciences. Well, I mean, okay, practical sciences, at the time specifically. You didn't. The only use for quantum mechanics really was more computer stuff, which is kind of self-inflicted, I must say. And, you know, space travel. And space travel had, of course, a huge amount of investment for fairly obvious reasons. One up the other superpower. But yeah. Orbital mechanics really are difficult to get a grip on unless you do it, you know, actually work on it to a substantial degree. You can't, it's just non-intuitive, generally speaking. Until, again, you have experience with it. People find driving easy because there is plenty of opportunity to gain experience to do so. Slap someone in from the 14th century and they're gonna have a tough time. Unless they were a carriage driver. Then they might have a somewhat easier time, although it depends. Slap someone from 3,000 years ago, oh, yeah. Then it's even trickier. Probably. Again, it depends. On circumstances. Okay. I can leave some things for later, of course. Always. do have to remind myself that sometimes, though. Okay, this tile could use something. Let's put a lumber mill. And for those people that may have built up an intuition of orbital mechanics from games like Kerbal Space Program, you still played a massive simulation on a computer, and it's kind of tricky to manage a similar experience without a computer simulation. Although it also explains. Okay, let's hope nothing silly happens from having a crocodile on the tile. I'm not sure how the game will react to having a hostile unit on a city like that. No issue. Oh, I can't even attack the unit. Okay. Hmm. Odd. I think I might have done that more than once, even. Whoops. Okay. Got that handled. Handle these, and... Wait. That was the capital. I will insist on the food processing plant, but... Infantry and... Time to play a fun game of Find the Pioneer. Creates the aircraft settler. That requires jet prop... I have jet propulsion racers, so there should be an aircraft settler in the list somewhere. Right? But where is it? Like, I expect it to be more expensive than the Pioneer, but that's the jet bomber. Early jet fighter, jet naval fighter, propeller, tactical bomber. That's a V1 missile. Cloud destroyers, a fire. Show only civilian units. Commercial airport and jet engines. Oh, I need to create jet engines. Okay. Okay, after you're done with all that, build the jet engine factory. Or, you know what? No. Don't build the settler. The pioneer. Build the infantry and then give it time to move to its tile. I'll probably fall into a cycle of building that way earlier than the other options. Jet propulsion laboratory. The infantry first, and then a couple other buildings, then build the aircraft settler. Just have it barrel to its destination at high speeds. Because that's pretty much what it does. Build the antique shop first. Okay, university. Build the clay pit first. My finances should be fine. Should be. Hopefully. I should work on something else. 'Cause otherwise it will take a very long time. Sure. Let's get work set up there. Okay. Where to do next? Just gonna handle this tile. Alright, satellite's coming in. Once I've handled city stuff. Air shipping warehouse, supercomputer, okay. Food processing plant, let's get these. Lab. And there we go, world map revealed. Any second now. There we go. I've discovered... Oh.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yes, this is from Base Game Set 4, that quote. Okay. Right, what next? I guess ecology. Um... I mean, amphibious warfare might be helpful. Not really, though. You know what? Mass media. Yeah, go for radio astronomy. Right, we've got the world map unlocked now. Now, that implies the popping up of Mount Everest implies that it was somewhere in the deep south. Yep, here it is. There's geodes here, stone, platinum. It's good it's still there. I'm gonna have to plant cities there at some point. But that's a late game thing. Now, up here we have the space map. Oh, don't zoom out too much. This is the moon. Here's Mars. Don't worry. Okay, you can obviously that the moon has resources, titanium ore. Scatter of that. Spit of iron ore there. Don't expect much production. Here's Mercury. Not much here. Venus. I'm not sure if Venus has resources or not. Here's the Sun. It is extra impassable. Asteroid belt. Jupiter with Europa, Callisto, Ganymede, and Io. The four big ones, plus, well, small moons. Tiles. Saturn with its rings, I presume? Yes. Calidus and Titan. And yes, the methane ocean can actually provide food. Neptune. No, Uranus. Neptune's over there. With Umbrio. And also more small moons. Neptune with Triton. And up north we have the Kuiper Belt. With Kuiper Belt objects. I suppose asteroids. Sedenoids. Oort cloud, and then we move on into, well, interstellar space. And, well, it's called transstellar space because, technically speaking, these are also the solar systems of other parts of the galaxy. And then we move on into the Orion Arm, nebula and star clusters, the galactic cores up here with the general Milky Way. Here's the local group. I don't think this tile's supposed to be here. Hill Rocky with sulfur. Dwarf Galaxy, Full Galaxy, etc. The Virgo supercluster with more galaxies. Then we start to move on to the observable universe itself. Intergalactic void. Distant cosmos goes beyond the cosmic microwave background. And then, well, hyperspace, I guess, whatever that's supposed to be. It's sci-fi stuff, I presume. That, well, we have no evidence for. But I mean, if you stuck entirely with known science, then sci-fi tends to be a little boring, I guess. Especially back in the earlier days where we were just setting off. Oh, there's a hydro dam here. I just never bothered to build a railroad. Wow. Great floor planning for me. I just need a moment. I'll be back to you soon. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'll get through television and then call it for a session. I mean, we're pretty close to an hour by now, but... Oh, is someone blockading? Vitel, where's Vitel? Yep. Don't care about inflation. I am getting rid of that ship. Okay, engineering school, and then Factory, presumably? Well, it depends. Clay pit is efficient enough to be worth it. I don't think anything else is, really. At least not efficient enough to outpace that. Except for the bark gatherer, but it's replaced with the lumberman, which definitely isn't nearly that efficient, so... I do need to get these tiles worked, though. Fine, enclosure wolf. I'm not sure how much of space is colonizable, because I've never actually played a full game, but I do know that the moon and interstellar space and the inner planets are all colonizable. Honestly, I would not be surprised if every tile were colonizable, even if perhaps not easily. Laboratory is too important to ignore. Let me also get that hospital in the chemicals plant. There it is. Bauxite mine, air shipping warehouse. I need to make the laboratory. Okay, nothing amazingly efficient in the food that I'm missing, so laboratory it is. I'm gonna need a courthouse in order to build that law school. That's a later thing. Okay, software firm, aluminum smelter, you, and you. I'll save the other buildings for after that is built. Oh, really now? At least Interception 1 is for free. Though admittedly, no one has aircraft yet, other than me. I destroyed the one that wasn't even damaged. Nice. The other one's gonna be a pushover to deal with. Okay, shaft mine to start extracting the uranium. I already have plenty, but the more the merrier. It's not really useful, admittedly, but... Scrap those. Okay, wherever we're heading to next, we'll get there soon. Just 3 more turns and we'll have the television. Ah, oh, come on. Another ship here. I need Blitz. Or something that's close enough to Blitz. The Locust Swarm is going to be very annoying, isn't it? Okay, mine the tile. Nothing else to do but mine this tile. And there we go. I'm gonna need to be careful about those finances. I can only last another 1,000 turns with how things stand right now. 1,000 turns is, heck no. Go away. Research satellites on your own. Hide away in here for the moment. This is going to be annoying, isn't it? Needing to confirm over and over again. Yes, it's the mine. Yes, it's the mine. Okay, food processing plant and laboratory. Yeah, don't need to do the rocket fuel thing here. Yeehaw already has its own rocket fuel refinery. Yeah, shipping warehouse. Already done all the food. Already built the lab stuff. Neat. Let me get these. Sand gatherers are cheap and pretty much instantly constructed. Charcoal burner. Parking lot. I mean, I could probably talk about orbits real quickly because we researched satellites, but no, we've got a single turn. Admittedly, I did not talk much this time. Sorry about that. The heck was that? Destroyed the city of Cassite. What city are we talking about? Was there just a random new barbarian city? Sprung up somewhere? But where would it spring up at? It's be in one of these unexplored regions, right? But I'll find out next turn where the captive military is. That will let me know. Sentry 3! Nothing escapes my eyesight. Return to the hunt. Okay, Zoom a bit so that the graphics no longer chug as hard. Yeah, I'll figure it out next turn. What city that ended up happening to? Okay, programming language, software firm. That. Anything further can wait. Mining camp done. Okay, ancient customs, carpenter, lumber camp, reed gatherer, flint gatherer. Please, just build the mine without any interruptions. Oh, it was right in here. Okay. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what to do with you. I guess I'll send you over here and that'll so you can do something.
In the age of television, image becomes more important than substance.
I would argue that was always the case. It just became more transparently so. Why else would we have the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, if we didn't constantly do something like that? Yeah, I think if I can, I'll use that unit in order to fill that in. No cities? Okay. I have no idea where those pirates went. Unless there's someone wandered off somewhere. Okay, railroad to here. Do the railroady thing. Okay, we're good for the turn. Yep. End the session then. Yeah, maybe I should talk about image, style over substance, etc. Perhaps another time, though. So, we've got satellites, so now I can see the entire world map. Apparently Mount Everest is, yep, down here. Say hello to tallest mountain in the world. Within the vicinity of the South Pole. But yeah, now we can actually truly see the moon, as well as the other planets of the solar system. The sun itself, which is, yeah, enough deep into the deepest reaches of space. Including some bits that don't actually really exist. Oh, and apparently a Barb City set itself up over here. It just spawned. Hunter found it and just annihilated it. So yeah, another city ruins right here. I'll have to plop a city in here sometime in the future, but it'll probably wait a bit. At the very least, with jet propulsion, I can, well, I have the tech required to research, to build that sort of a thing, the aircraft settlers, the jet settlers, which are units that can walk on any Earth tile to settle a city. Sadly, I can't actually build it yet. Aircraft settlers require jet engines, which is why there's this factory getting built here. Don't worry, once it's built, I can go ahead and do that too. So, start building those up. I mean, you also need an airport, a commercial airport in the city, but pretty sure that's not a problem here. Okay, now it's not a problem. Oh boy, it's gonna take a while, isn't it? Oh well. I've settled a new city up here, with yet more uranium nearby. There's actually quite a few strategic resources in the area. Probably plop a city somewhere around here, and another one fairly far up north. Probably one around here. I'm leery about the spot itself, but it's the only spot here. Then one around here-ish. Another begrudgingly in this area without any rivers. Possibly one down here. And I'll conquer these cities. Yeah. There really isn't much coastline left. Like over here, there's only 2 cities left before I start getting into Hati's corner of the continent. Then once I filled in the coastline, I can start working my way down here through Sioux. Which, well, now that I have that, I can say that they don't have a city on the interior. Which is interesting. But there's not really a need. After all, these tiles are all within reach, even of of these cities, these 2 cities, even if they're not actually filled in by their cultural expanses yet. I mean, with realistic culture spread, culture can take some really weird directions. Like, there's still tiles over here that haven't been reached yet by any city. Influence-wise. Even though Khoisan can absolutely exploit those provinces. There's also this tile over here. This one's is fine because it's out of reach of any city. But this one is also quite annoying. And I have had these cities here for thousands of turns. I don't know how many thousands, but it's at least 2. I know that for sure. Oh well. At some point, I'm going to have to build a city here. Although admittedly, there's no longer that much of a need for it because every tile is now spotted, so barbarians can't spawn on this portion of the continent. I mean, look, Persepolis has this tile that's literally adjacent to the city that's still outside of reach. It's odd, it's somewhat annoying. But yeah, a city here would be a reasonable idea if only to stop barbarian spawns. And that's part of the goal of conquering the world. So I don't have to deal with barbs anymore. At least not on Earth. I do think there's a possibility for aliens to start spawning, but It's 1232 AD, and yes, I have satellites, but still, that portion of the game is a long, long way away. Although I do think I will complete the tech tree. Okay. I can guarantee you, I can complete the tech tree before the 20,000 turns are up. I'm not sure if I will reach the 20,000 turns. I may end up doing this like a tech and res, where once I hit the end of the tech tree, I say, okay, that's enough, no more. But yeah, I think we might be halfway through the tech tree. Approximately. And it is only, it's not even 30% of the turn. We're not at turn 6,000 yet. But with the space map technically unlocked, well, I mean, there's not really a reason for me to build the satellites. Like, mission reward orbit is pretty much the only thing I can get. Low Earth orbit. It's the only thing I can get. And climate satellite requires climate models. Project Gemini requires astro-environmental systems. Although I do like that 3 free engineers. Fact of the matter is, since it's a mission reward, I will probably just airlift it to a random city that can handle the... Yeah, there's also Project Mercury. Never mind, I can go ahead and build that somewhere. Well, it does require a launch site. There is, of course, Sputnik. Well, effect launch site. I need a national aerospace industry. No, agency. So I need to actually go and put in the effort for that. And there's this space probe, but that requires superstring theory. W map. Yeah. I'll be going for radio astronomy, and then probably nuclear power for the nuclear plant. Deep sea exploration, maybe? I mean, Mission to Challenger Deep doesn't sound like that bad of an idea. Though I think I'll save... Well, okay. I mean, free tech is at some point something I'm going to have to grab. Of course, it always is something that I'll have to grab. The question is, can I align it well? And how long can I put it off before it becomes entirely unreasonable? Anyway, I've gone on long enough. I'd say I own more than half the world's landmass by now, easily. And the parts left are few. The atomic era is about halfway done. Ish. Maybe 45%. I mean, the techs are a lot denser back here, but I'm missing quite a few early ones. And sort of a bit of beelining here. I don't really have many of the techs beyond the 50% line. So, and we'll get to here. Contemporary times. But, yeah, I've gone on long enough. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.